It's loyalty and integrity, and understanding that there will be trials, but through those trials there'll be blessings. That's life on the farm, because agriculture isn't just a job, it's our way of life, and we're proud of it.
Tyler Harper, a farmer, a businessman, an ABAC alumnus, and proud Bulldog graduate of the University of Georgia. He's a champion for agriculture, natural resources, a healthy, safe, nutritious food supply, and common sense Georgia families.
I'm Tyler Harper. I'm running for Georgia Agriculture Commissioner to fight for our values, farm values. I'll fight to keep liberal Washington, D.C. policies out of Georgia. I'll stand up to foreign competitors, stand up to those who want to change our way of life, and I'll protect Georgia values, defending our farmers from bad policy, supporting our state's #1 industry, and keeping our food safe and supply chains moving. I'm Tyler Harper, and I'm running because sometimes it takes a farmer. It's been said that God broke the mold when he made farmers, that he needed someone who would rise before the sun and work past dark to feed our way of life, and I'll protect Georgia values, defending our farmers from bad policy, supporting our state's #1 industry, and keeping our food safe and supply chains moving. I'm Tyler Harper, and I'm running because sometimes it takes a farmer.
Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gradick, your host. Delighted to have you with us on this beautiful morning. We're very pleased. You just heard a little message from Tyler Harper, and he, I am pleased to say, is in studio with us. He's a candidate for Georgia Agricultural Commissioner. Good morning, Tyler.
Good morning, Steve. Glad to be with you this morning.
Glad to have you, and
Yes,
thank
sir.
you for coming in. I've got a good, long, nice resume, but I think our audience would rather hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Well,
I
in fact,
understand.
I know they would.
Yes, sir.
That's a surety there. Anyway, tell us just personally, tell us a little something about yourself, where you're from, a little bit about your background, etc.
Yes, sir. Well, I think that video, or if you weren't watching the video, just the vocal from that video kind of explains who I am and my background. But just, I'm from Ocilla, Georgia, Irwin County, born and raised there. Grew up on the family farm, 7 generations in South Central Georgia. I'm a 7th generation farmer myself. Still tending the same piece of dirt that's been my family for 125 years. I'm a peanut, cotton, timber, beef cattle operator, and ABAC grad. Went to ABAC, Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College, left there, went to the University of Georgia, and have a degree in agricultural engineering, and was state president of the Georgia Young Farmers Association, served on the state board for almost 10 years, currently serve as the chairman of the Southern Legislative Conference Agriculture Committee, which is the states in the southeastern U.S., was elected to that role by my colleagues from across the southeast, and then been in the state senate for the last 10 years, working for our farmers, producers, consumers all across the state of Georgia, and doing what we can to ensure that we continue to allow Georgia to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And so that's kind of a little bit about me, and just short and brief, but honored to be with you this morning.
You're a Rotarian too?
I am. I'm in the Rotary Club back home, and served as our local Rotary president for a year or so, a couple of years back. But do a lot of things. We talked about it earlier. I'm a pilot, love to fly, and play in our church band on Sundays. So
What instrument do you play?
I play piano and the guitar.
Oh, really? And that's
Yes, sir.
How do you pronounce that? Satilla Baptist?
Satilla Baptist, yes,
For
sir.
those who don't know where Ocilla is, give us a little map lesson here.
So real quick, the easiest way to say it is if you know where Tifton is. It's about 20 miles northeast of Tifton, Georgia. So it's a little small town in South Georgia, and born and raised there, and there in Ocilla, Irwin County.
Okay. With that said, and of course now you've been a state senator as long as Mike Dugan since
Yes, sir.
2013. With all that said, I mean, sounds like you got a great life.
Yeah.
So why
that's
do
true.
you want to run for higher office and the responsibilities of being Georgia's agricultural commissioner?
Well, look, I think it's a great opportunity at the right time, and especially in the political world, it's all about opportunity and timing, and for me, this is a great opportunity to serve our state's agriculture committee community, and I think my background and my foundation and who I am, what I'm about is agriculture, and whether that's through 4-H and FFA and my experiences throughout my life, through my education and my involvement in the farm myself. I still operate a row crop timber and beef cattle operation, like I said, and I just want to go to work and fighting for our farmers, our producers, our consumers, and Georgia families every day as the next Commissioner of Agriculture. And this is a great opportunity to be able to do that and be that voice for our state's #1 industry. And it's bittersweet leaving the legislature, but this gives me an opportunity to really hone in and focus on serving our state's #1 industry, and I look forward to the opportunity to do that.
We here, and on this program, because we have Paula Burke on, we have a lot of guests on. We've had Gary Black on in the past about agriculture being Georgia's #1 industry.
Yes, sir.
And I recently heard someone, I'm sorry I can't attribute it to whoever, challenged that. And I think the challenge was saying, well, yes, but, there's so many ancillary type industries associated with us. Give us your view of what makes agriculture the #1 industry in Georgia, because that's really, if that be true, then that really says a great deal about Georgia and who Georgia is.
So I wholeheartedly believe in that agriculture is our state's #1 industry. I mean, the numbers support it. It's a $75 billion industry in our state, and everything from peanuts to pecans to from blueberries to apples and everything in between that we grow in our state.
It's not just cattle and
It's
chickens.
not just cattle and chickens, but cattle and chickens and sheep and livestock are all part of that, right? And forestry, we're the #1 forestry state in the nation.
Really? I didn't know that.
We are. We're #1 in peanuts, pecans, and other products that we're #1 in broilers and poultry. And so agriculture in Georgia plays a significant role, not only in our state, but in the national on the national scene as well, and where we play in the ag economy across the country. But it is our #1 industry. It's the backbone of our state's economy, which is why it's important that we support agriculture in our state, and why it's important whenever we have an agriculture commissioner that they understand what the industry is about, and that they have that background and experience and the knowledge to go to work on day one, which I do, and I look forward to doing that come January. But it's a industry that is important to our state, which is why we've got to continue to fight for it and protect it every day to ensure that it succeeds, because agriculture success is our state's success, and we've got to tell that story, and we're working to do that.
Our guest this morning is Tyler Harper, candidate for Georgia Agricultural Commission. You can hear us on 106.3. We're streamed to the website, to the app, and we're also on Facebook Live if you have any comments or questions. We'll be back with more. I've got tons of questions for Tyler, and stay with us. Tyler Harper coming up next after these words.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
I'm Michael Flynn, Oak Mountain Academy class of 1978.
Katie Flynn, class of 2010.
Justin Flynn, class of 2014.
Logan Flynn, class of 2019.
And I'm Marnie Flynn, current teacher at OMA.
My uncle Richard Orm Flynn, a founding father of Oak Mountain Academy, had a vision to see students become confident leaders who hold a faith-based value system in an academically rigorous environment. We are proud to celebrate 60 years of fulfilling my uncle's vision.
Our family invites you to visit the campus or oakmountain.us today.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Graddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us on this beautiful morning. And we're very pleased to have in studio Tyler Harper, candidate for Georgia Agriculture Commissioner. We're talking about agriculture. We're talking about the race. We're talking about a lot of things. One thing we've got to talk about is inflation.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm like everyone when, you go to a grocery store now and, you can overhear people, walking up and down now. I can't believe this didn't cost this much a year ago.
Yeah.
It didn't 3 weeks ago. It didn't cost this much. It looks like food's gone up 10, 20%. Understand fertilizer's gone up. Everything's gone up. It seemed like after gas prices went up. So from the farming point of view, what challenges, what kind of hit, what kind of role is inflation playing, and what farmers are facing day to day?
Look, inflation is significant on every Georgian. You basically mentioned it. It's from the grocery store to the gas pump. It's affecting everybody, and agriculture is not exempt from that. Diesel prices are up 68%. Fertilizer is up 110% just from just a year or so ago. From the feed, fertilizer, fuel, we're experiencing it on the farm, and I'm paying those prices in my operation too, just like every other farmer and producer across this state. So I understand just in my own operation how it's impacting the bottom line when it comes to agriculture. And you combine all of that with the fact in just the last 10 years, the family farm share of the retail dollar has declined almost 20%. So you're losing the share of the retail dollar at the same time prices and inflation are infecting your operations significantly. So it's putting a significant squeeze on agriculture, and it's putting a significant squeeze on farm families, which makes it tough. But farmers and those in agriculture have always been resilient and worked through those issues, and we're in our state, our farmers are working through those, but it's making it very difficult. Inflation has had significant issues on our farm, and we've got to have real leadership and real solutions to address those problems, which is part of the reason I'm running to be the next Commissioner of Agriculture, because I want to help bring solutions to those problems and help address these issues and make sure that Georgia has a voice at that table when those conversations are going on.
Well, being a former state senator now for almost a decade.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, you've got insight, and having served on the committees that you mentioned at the beginning, a lot of this is impacted by the federal government, and we've just seen past the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. What's your thinking in terms of and this is a whole program in itself, so I don't know that we can it's kind of like asking a radio guy about the FCC. Do you have a few days? Anyway, the Inflation Reduction Act, the role of the federal government in the life of the farmer, particularly Georgia farmers, how good, how bad?
So if you're referring to the Inflation Production Act,
there we go.
That's it's not going to help agriculture. There's some significant issues there. I mean, it's only going to add to the inflation that we're seeing. And they're putting money in some certain places to do things that just don't make sense. I mean, there's $8 billion to tell farmers how to feed their cattle. At the end of the day, President Dwight Eisenhower famously said, farming's really easy when you're 1,000 miles away and your plow is a pencil, and that is so true. And that's why it's important that we elect leaders that know and have the background and understanding when it comes to agriculture and the agricultural industry and that field, because those decisions are very vital and important, and they affect our food supply. And at the end of the day, agriculture is national security, period. And if we're not working hard to ensure that we're protecting our number one industry in our state and allowing our farmers and producers to be successful here at home, and we're relying on somebody else to produce our food, our fiber, our shelter for us, we're less safe as a state, we're less safe as a community, and we're less safe as a nation. And I don't know about you, but I want to work to ensure that we're allowing our farmers, our producers to be successful, because at the end of the day, it allows the consumer to be successful, because we can keep those those prices down at the grocery store. We can allow families to be successful and address those food insecurity issues that we may have. So those are the things that we're going to work on. We're going to work to address. And I know we've done a lot of that with the Farm to Food Bank program that we passed this past session that helps address those that are in the most need. But at the same time, we've done that by investing in the next generation in our K-5 ag education program that we put permanently in place this past session. I look forward to building on those successes to allow our ag industry to continue to succeed and allow the consumers to rest assured that they can get a safe and secure product from the grocery store.
So much, if I can say this, it seems like so much of what you've just said depends upon strong state leaders to push back against the overreaching federal government.
It does.
For the sake of time, we'll kind of move on.
Understood.
And I'll leave the IRS comment for a later date because, even farmers get audited, so it's not a good thing.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, and during these inflationary times, we've started seeing some shelves go empty. And that, I think, gets attention of a lot of people. I mean, that's starting to say, there's a real problem here. Now, part of that is we hear supply chain, of course, inflation, but we've come off of a couple of years of a pandemic. And so all of this is kind of morphing into, the gas prices into one thing. What is and this is more of a kind of a personal, to drill down a bit, attitude. What's the perseverance level of farmers out there? I mean, are family farmers like yourself? I mean, they're just committed no matter what. Or are they frustrated? Are they ready to get out? What's their mentality? So,
and you named off a lot of things, and I would add the Ukrainian conflict overseas, and among other things that have contributed to a lot of the position that we're in today. But I'll tell you, I said it earlier, and those involved in agriculture and family farmers across this state and across the country are very resilient. And they have been, and a lot of it's because they understand what they do in providing the food, the fiber, and the shelter for folks across this state and across this country is very vital and very important. And it is, and they understand how important that is, and that's the reason they go to work every day knowing that what they're doing is changing lives. And I'm proud to be a part of this industry. I'm proud to work alongside those men and women across our state that do that every day. And I look forward to serving as their next ag commissioner and your next ag commissioner and the next ag commissioner for the state of Georgia, to be a bigger voice and to push back on those policies like we were talking about earlier, to ensure that Georgia, no pun intended, to be that bulldog in the room, so to speak, that we have that seat at the table when those conversations are going on, to ensure that the things that are important to our state continue to be at the forefront and our number one industry can be successful.
A lot of criticism in recent years to college education not being attuned to the needs of the student in a multitude of ways. But agriculture, you're a graduate of agriculture,
yes, sir.
Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College. Ag education is a different, I wanted to say animal, but I'll try to stay away from it. But I mean, it really incorporates and still, I mean, it's a very valuable education.
Yes, sir.
Post high school, correct?
It is. I would, and that's one of the things we want to continue to work on, is focusing on investing in that next generation, which is not only in the K-12 system, but also in our higher education system, both in the university system as well as the technical college system. And I'm glad we have Chancellor Sonny Perdue at the helm at the University System of Georgia now. He's a veterinarian and has an agricultural background, former secretary of the USDA, former governor, and he has a pilot. That's right. And he has a focus on ensuring that agriculture is successful in our state. But we do have to continue to invest in that and give students an understanding that there's a lot of opportunities in the world in the field of agriculture beyond what people normally understand or know. And it's important for them to be involved in that.
Well, you mentioned Sonny Perdue, but you've also been endorsed by two other governors, Governor Nathan Deal and Brian Kemp.
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
It appears you have the endorsement of State Senator Mike Dugan and a whole host of state reps.
Yes, sir.
From Huddleston to Nix to Collins to Tyler Paul Smith.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
we're glad to have them on the team.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I think they're supporting us because they know we're the right person for the job, and we look forward to serving alongside of them and serving our state. So.
All right, very good. Our guest this morning is Tyler Harper, candidate for Georgia Agricultural Commissioner. We'll be back with more with Tyler after these words.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
As a believer in the power of education, we are called to set the standard by shaping and empowering the minds of future generations through quality education. Oak Mountain Academy embraces this philosophy, which is why my children attend this prestigious school. I am elated to serve on the OMA Board of Trustees, where together we prepare students and remind them to trust and believe in the power to transform the world. I'm Dr. Brian Bain, inviting you to celebrate our 60-year legacy of academic excellence. Visit us at oakmountain.us.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Braddock, your host. Delighted to have you with us. We do have one question from a listener, a little bit different type question, and we'll just take a moment to address it. I think in Georgia, there's one. I think it was introduced into Georgia, the southeast, for erosion control, the infamous kudzu,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
And it's been used for. And the question is whether or not it has any kind of industrial properties or value. As far as the unsightly weed, it certainly is number one.
When it comes to, agriculture, especially in row crops, that's definitely something we've always fought against is kudzu. But, from the industrial side and that perspective, we've just worked to legalize hemp in the state of Georgia. They've legalized it on the federal level, and we've done it so on the state level. And there are industrial uses for hemp. And that's definitely something we can definitely look into. And as the next commissioner, I'm always going to be open to those ideas on how we can continue to move things forward and be investing in different opportunities that allow our individuals in our state to be successful. And that would definitely be something that we would be we could look into to see what those uses may be and see if it's something that would be a viable opportunity.
We have the expanded Georgia port now, and tell us a little bit about your opinions in terms of exporting Georgia's agricultural products.
Look, having those international markets and exporting our products is significantly important to our ag economy. I mean, it's a significant portion of a lot of the agricultural business we do here in Georgia. And, the port in Savannah has been a significant part of that, the port in Brunswick as well. And the expansion of that port and the deepening of the Savannah Harbor is a big part of that. And I'm glad we've been able to move that ball down the road, so to speak. And as a member of the General Assembly, I was proud to vote to help include some funding in the budgets over the years to help move that project along and ensure we get that done, because from an ag perspective, the Savannah port is very, very vital. It's very important, and continuing to build on those markets is something we want to do as the next commissioner, and making sure that we have markets around the world that we can market our products to. And I think we'll be successful in doing that. I look forward to building on that as the next ag commissioner.
A lot of discussion, or certainly during the Trump administration, about tariffs, et cetera. We have some chatter about communist China buying up land. What's some of your thoughts on those kind of international dealings?
Well, I think first and foremost, from a trade perspective, I don't know anybody in the world of agriculture, the field of agriculture, is not willing to compete. We're in a global economy, and agriculture is more so today than ever. We've seen that through COVID. We've seen that through the Ukrainian conflict. But we just want a level playing field in agriculture. And I think long as we have that level playing field, farmers and producers are willing to compete. And we just got to ensure that we have that.
So that's another way of saying, for the federal government to back off. The farmers just want to level playing.
We just want a level playing field,
And we will compete.
That's right. In agriculture, we do compete. We just want to compete fair.
Yeah.
And we want the rules to be fair, and that's why I think it's important to have somebody that's the next ag commissioner that understands those issues, because you know, coming from the field of agriculture and coming from a background in farm myself, you know, I understand those, and we're willing to work on those to ensure that we have that fair playing field, and we're going to fight to make sure that that's the case.
Okay, well, let's talk a little campaign before we run out of time. What's the campaign been like? What are people telling you on the campaign trail?
So, you know, we've been traveling the state for a little over a year now, campaigning to be the next ag commissioner. It's been an awesome opportunity to get around the state and meet folks and talk to farmers and producers and consumers all over Georgia. You know, but we're hearing a lot of what we talked about today, from inflation to feed prices to gas prices to diesel prices to labor issues on the farm, and what families are facing at the grocery store when they go to the grocery store. And you know, those are the things that we're hearing that people have concerns about, and that's what we're going to work to help address as the next Commissioner of Agriculture, to ensure that those things are being solved, those problems are being fixed, and finding ways to ensure that our families can be successful, our farmers can be successful, and that consumers can rest assured that they're getting a safe and secure product when they go to the grocery store and when they sit home at night, or where they go to a restaurant or wherever it is, that they know that somebody's looking out for them every day. But we've had a great run on the campaign trail, and been getting a lot of great feedback, and look forward to putting that together and getting across the finish line on November 8th and starting up in January as the new commissioner.
Okay. If someone wants to learn more about your campaign, how should they go about it?
Yes, sir. Well, we got a website, TylerHarperGA.com. You can go on there, sign up to volunteer, get a yard sign or things of that nature. But also, we got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's all at TylerHarperGA. We'd love to have you like us, tweet us, follow us, and help us spread our message all across the state as we work to be the next commissioner.
And when your radio campaign hits, I mean, you're going to just take off.
That's right.
It's going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, I know this morning's interview is going to be a great boost to that, Steve, and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
It will be mega viral.
That's exactly right. Yep.
All right. So you're on the campaign trail. Say you knock on my door, you see me at some sort of event, whatever. And, you know, I'm always in a hurry. I got nowhere to go, but I'm still always in a hurry.
I understand.
So you've got 60 seconds. You feel like, well, I only got one minute with this guy, this bald-headed guy. So how do you ask for my vote? Why should I vote for Tyler Harper?
Steve, my name's Tyler Harper. I'm running to be the next Commissioner of Agriculture, and I grew up on a family farm, 7th generation South Georgia farmer, still tilling the same piece of dirt, been in my family for 125 years. ABAC grad, UGA grad, past president of Young Farmer Association, and for the past 10 years, been a privilege to serve in the Georgia State Senate fighting for farmers and producers and families all across this state. And with your help, I'll use my foundation, background, and experience in serving our state as its next Commissioner of Agriculture, because I believe I have the foundational experience to serve in that capacity. I'd love to earn your vote, your trust, and your support as we get into the fall election. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Harper, candidate for Georgia Agricultural Commissioner. Thank you for coming in. And
I hope I kept it under 60 seconds.
You did. That's perfect, because I got places to go.
I understand.
You know, it's funny because not the majority. I don't think the majority of people follow politics,
yes,
maybe
sir.
like we do. You being an elected official and whatever, but me being a radio guy. But when the election comes around, you know, the radar goes.
Oh, they do. That's right.
Anyway, travel safe on the campaign
We will.
trail. Thank you for coming in, and we thank you for listening to the Community Voice. Stay tuned every day this week for more Community Voice. And we thank our sponsors, Oak Mountain Academy and Tanner Health System, for their sponsorship. Go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBB Carrollton.